Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where you know what we bring you. We bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And we're here every day. Nurse Mark wrote a book about it.
I did. Just because I don't remember stuff day to day.
Well,
So I needed a book. I needed to write it down because I need to go back and reread it and say, oh, hell yes, that's right. Of course I know this.
This is the most authentic journal, right? So you think about it, you tell the story and then you share your insight, your inspiration, and how you grow and how you healed, right? It's really powerful stuff. So, everyone writes in a journal. Just think about, your journal, right, is I call it the dash, right? The day you're born until the day you die, right? And on people's gravestones, they have that
Which,
dash.
I have some sad news, Sherry.
What?
We're both going to die.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But you know what? Maybe it's not sad news.
No, it's I look at it as transforming. I've really, over the years, have overcome the fear of dying, because I've looked at it in the eyeball so many times.
Right.
And been able to process, really
it's the common experience that we all have. We're all going there. Nobody escapes. It's a great equalizer, which is, you know what? It's part of the book was talking about being okay with death, getting to a point where you understand that, the moments that we have, this moment that we have right now, absolutely fucking precious. Precious. Because there's going to come a time when we're going to be lying there and saying, wow, this is it? Holy shit. Wow, that went by like that. Right? I mean, if you've done hospice work, you talk to people who are, in their 80s, in their 90s, and they say, you know what? Holy good God, it went by so quick.
So quick. I mean, this year, what's today?
Jesus, Wednesday? It's August. It's my brother Michael's birthday. It's August 18th, 2021.
August 18th. Now, how fast has this year gone by?
Sherry, where the hell did it go? I mean, it's just like,
time is going by like a flash of light.
Yeah. So you better enjoy every single second of it. And the way that you do that is you realize that you're absolutely amazing exactly as you are. And you don't worry about what other people think. Somebody posted on Facebook yesterday, that someone had commented on the way that they looked. They didn't appear to be a college professor. And this person happens to be a college professor. And you're like, wow, times have changed. As if saying you don't look like I think you should look as a college professor. And I had to comment, and the comment is really simple. What other people think of me is none of my business.
Yes.
And if you can live with that as your mantra, oh my God, you are free and clear to live a life that you want and not something dictated by somebody else, right?
Exactly. Well, here's the other concept too, is that when you really get comfortable in your own skin and you really love yourself, it's easier to be vulnerable and open, right? Think about it. I love myself enough to be open and vulnerable with you. You can say whatever you want to say, because you know what? That's your opinion and I appreciate it, but I don't live in the same reality that you live.
Consider that their opinion of you has nothing to do with you, actually. No, it's just a conglomeration of all the experiences that they've had with people who may look like you, may sound like you, not you at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what other people think of us, Sherry, is none of our business.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely not. And here, it's going to lead into the daily love. And
my God.
The daily wisdom. So we've got Nurse Mark with daily love.
Yeah.
And I'm going to daily wisdom.
And Nurse Sherry with the daily wisdom. Nurse Sherry, are you going to share some wisdom with us?
And it's appropriate for what you just said. So I'm going to read a little bit here from Don Miguel's Ruiz, Little Book of Wisdom. He wrote the 4 Agreements and the 4
Agreements. Know. And I tend to read and then reread stuff because what I find is, especially in spiritual texts, every time I read it, I'm reading it from a different perspective and a different place, and I get a different message. So, I mean, obviously, that's why people read like the Bible and the Torah and thousands of years and interpretations, and they reread and read all of these spiritual texts.
Yep.
It's because you're in a different place with a different perspective, and you need to hear a different message. So Sherry, lay it on us, baby. What's the message? What's the wisdom today?
This is a good one. You could say that we're living in very interesting times, but of course, that's always been true because every single day is very special. How you see the world depends upon your personal dream. In other words, you can see it from a very high point of view or from a very low point of view. From one viewpoint, it seems like we live in a time of huge drama, big crises, and that so many things are happening that shouldn't be happening. From a higher point of view, you can see all the beautiful living beings that reside on planet Earth. Although there are all types of events that are happening all the time, these effects cannot affect our true humanity. Everything is beautiful, perfect, and evolving all the time. The truth of who we are is love. Little Book of Wisdom. Thank you so much. I hold it near and dear to my heart, just like I hold your book near and dear to my heart, just like
That's so good.
This book.
Right, exactly. Oh, it's in that one too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's so appropriate.
It's just good.
I love that.
Yeah, it's just nice.
I'm a huge fan of recognizing that the world is the way it is, and it's always been this way, and it will always be this way.
Yeah, and we're gonna
and that's lovely.
We're gonna continually go through. You think about it as we evolve. We're always going to be going through different crises. It's the divine orchestration of the universe. We are our way to work and move and grow personally.
My next book is going to go into that whole, whole manifestation, that whole concept of what is this whole thing all about. And I have some really cool ideas. So, and guess what? They're only my opinion. You don't have to agree with them.
Exactly.
Or you can. Yeah.
Exactly. So welcome, everyone. Who do we have today?
Deanna, Brian, Marissa, Tiffany. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. We're really happy to have you here. The Green Nurse.
Tiff's going to be a half a century old.
Yeah.
Sherry. Tiffany's going to be a half century old in a couple of weeks.
50?
Yes.
50 and fabulous.
It's like, how did that happen? Well, good luck is how that happened.
Here it is too, is an age. I'm not going to lie, is a state of mind for sure.
Oh my
I feel
God.
more youthful, more playful.
Sherry. Dee and Shelly. Oh my gosh. Dee, good morning. Shelly, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Listen, Cher, that's perfect that you just said that. That you're not this body, because the daily love, real quick, I'm just going to blast this off. The daily love is about that completely. So let's do it. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. I can do virtually anything that I want to, because it isn't your form that counts. It isn't the age of your body that counts. It's whether you transcend your form. That's where transformation comes from. Look at it this way. You've already occupied many different bodies on this planet. I mean, I was an 8-pound body when I was born, and I was in a body that was only 2.5 feet tall growing up. Nothing about me, not one physical cell that was in my 10-year-old body is in the body that I carry now. All has been changed, and yet I can remember everything about what I did when I was 10 years old. So I'm not that body, which is now gone. I'm the thoughts behind it. I am not a body with a soul. I'm a soul with a body.
Oh, I love it. We got this meat suit.
It's a meat suit.
It's a meat suit, right? And the truth of who we are resides inside. We have this vessel, this vehicle that we need to navigate through life.
It's like leasing an automobile. We're just here for a short moment. We're going to lease this thing for a while. We're going to utilize it, and then we're going to let it go. Guess what? So you can probably get another one.
So this is why we're here.
Yeah.
Right? This is why we're here, is to help you to realize that we are constantly in a cycle of growth and change.
Always.
Like mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. I truly agree with you, Mark. I'm not the same person I was.
You're not. Physically, you're not. You're totally a new human being.
I look well-oiled. I'm well-oiled.
So what's the message in that? The message is, don't tie yourself to this physical being so much, because this is just This is temporary, right?
Yeah.
Go right to the soul. That's the thing that's always been and always will be. Yeah, never going anywhere.
It's the woo. I'm gonna just
Energy's never, it's not created or destroyed. You're eternal. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even Einstein said it. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transmuted and changed.
That's exactly right.
That's very
so hey,
cool.
I just transmuted into this fine specimen. This doesn't happen by accident. This requires a lot of ice cream and cheeseburgers to power this up.
Yeah, and I'll be really honest and blunt and truthful.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why I'm here today and able to function is because of the plant.
Boom. And here we go. Now we're into the meat of the day. Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely, for sure.
Completely.
So, you know, time is going by like a flash of light, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about migraines, because how the light can trigger headaches for those who suffer from migraines. So we're going to discuss today, you know, as you all know, and if you haven't heard, we'll get the show later. You know, the Green Nurse and Holistic Caring have come together for a merger, and we have a community here. And what we're doing, you know, is we're bringing people, providers, patients, creating an ecosystem for learning, self-paced programs, consultations, education. You know, it's a really great thing. So basically, newsletters, right? So Elizabeth wrote a really powerful newsletters on migraines and cannabinoids. And in September, she's going to be doing a free webinar, all right, which is going to be great in the community. So number one, you got to join the community. Number two,
in the community.
And sign up for our newsletter, www.thegreennurse.com. I can put that flash of little light up there. And you'll be able to get these amazing monthly newsletters that's filled with hugs and nugs of information.
Yeah.
And then generally what she does after that is she creates a free webinar that she puts on monthly for the community. So Elizabeth Mack for the win.
Rock star, Elizabeth. Nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Nice. Great book. Great content. Amazing, amazing training modules.
It is. So think about this. So we're going to get into time is going by like a flash of light. Migraines. I started developing migraines when I was in college, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about migraines and cannabinoids and what she wrote in her newsletter.
Yeah.
So as we know,
it's fun. It's I'm sorry, Cher, go ahead.
No, it's okay. No, go.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. And migraines are just manifest differently for everybody. Like my migraine pattern is one every 2 to 3 years. And I know exactly when it's coming on. I know what the outcome's going to be. I know that I know exactly what I need to do to kind of, you know, deal with it. But I have friends who have them every single day, Sherry. And we'll get into how cannabis can help.
Really, really, really horrible. I mean, it is debilitating. People end up in the emergency room. I've ended up in the emergency room begging for shots of Demerol and Visceral.
God, yeah.
Can't see light. I had to put like it's horrible. But anyway,
it's horrible. Yeah.
It's debilitating, and it can really, you know, decrease a person's quality of life and disable them. So chronic headaches plague about 40 million Americans, affecting mostly women. Right?
Isn't that wild? You know, I mean, a lot of these things we talk about, IBS, bowel issues, you know, autoimmune, mostly related to autoimmune. But Sherry, could it be that it's mostly related to an endocannabinoid deficiency?
Yes, Nurse Mark.
And why women, Sherry? Well, think about it. Hormones every month. Yeah. Like I am so glad I'm a guy. I have to be honest with you. My heart goes out to all you girls. Oh, anyway.
It's definitely, that's why we're so awesome.
That's exactly right.
And resilient.
Exactly right.
Right. And so, you know, think about women as, you know, we have to adapt and change and shift and go with the flow. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So think about women. If women are plagued with these headaches, we're busy. Women are busy. We got shit to do. Right. And if you think about these headaches, the frequency of these headaches can run from 1 every few months to 20 days every month. And so people with severe migraines, like I said, become unable to work or manage their normal activities.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, and And I'm not going to lie, I had them as well, but I'm going to tell you, since I've been using cannabis, I haven't had any. The only time I feel like a migraine is coming on is when I'm under severe stress and I'm not taking care of my endocannabinoid system.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I've been able to cut the cord when it comes on before it manifests using multiple different cannabinoids and energy healing.
Right. No, I believe it or not. Hell yes, I believe it.
Energy. Yeah.
Yeah, because if we're all energy anyway, it would make sense that energy healing would be a modality that works.
Oh,
but what are some of the things, Cher, that that contribute to migraines, right? It's genetic and environmental factors.
Oh yeah.
That may alter those neurotransmitters like serotonin, in the reactivity of the cranial nerves.
Yeah. I mean, think about the vasodilatation, the vasoconstriction, and those present with different types of headaches, but also too, a lot of, like we said, migraines can be caused by the hormonal imbalances in women,
of course,
right, during menstruation, ovulation, menopause.
Yep.
Food. Okay. Dietary intake.
God, you hate to hear this, Sherry. I know.
Hear it. But here's the thing. This is the interesting thing. One of the things they list is caffeine. Okay. And the interesting thing about caffeine is a primary ingredient and a couple of medications that are used to treat migraines. Which is really interesting. So
it's a vasoconstrictor.
Because it's a vasoconstrictor.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is interesting. So caffeine, dietary intake, if you're drinking a lot of wine, cheese, processed foods, skipping meals. So you think about this: stress, physical exertion, sleep disruption, weather changes, bright lights or noises can all be triggers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And so it becomes important to actually, for migraine sufferers, to journal, to understand, right? Journaling is such a huge thing when you're trying to deal with health issues, whether it's you wanted weight loss, you got to journal, track your food. Migraines, you want to understand what the triggers are and try to mitigate those, right?
Absolutely. Mitigate, prevent, and to look at, other activities, because we're going to talk about the endocannabinoid deficiency.
Yeah.
To prevent that from coming on. So the current treatment that we talked about for migraines, generally includes medications, right? That's what I started on right away. I was on Firanol. I was on Furacet.
Oh yeah, that's a common one, right? Firanol.
They tried Imitrex. Of course, I did Motin, Tylenol. I did amitriptyline. I was on boatloads.
Right. Yeah. And Sherry, so did they work?
No.
Right. Most of the time, that they're maybe going to work somewhat. Yeah. Which is why we're talking about cannabis endocannabinoid system, which is what we're going to get into
in a little bit. So think about this too. So other types of treatments, when people are able to step into the holistic healing, alternative, complementary, integrative functional health role, if you're able to get to that space, acupuncture has been favored by many people.
Yeah.
You have these meridian lines.
Another energetic healing modality.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've also experienced this as well. A lot of migraine sufferers get facial Botox injections, right?
Yep.
To manage the frequency, which is interesting. That didn't work. But that's all right though. Listen, when you're sick and suffering and desperate, you'll do anything.
Try anything. Right.
Right. And here's the other thing too. And this is going to lead into the endocannabinoid deficiency. Also, people that have migraines, if you think about improving your gut health, right, that's going to end up improving the microbiome. You improve the microbiome, which is microbiome is huge with inflammation, brain function, how we perceive, how we process emotions, cognition, all of those different things.
And consider that if it's an endocannabinoid deficiency, you're going to have these multiple comorbidities, right? You're going to have someone who has GI issues along with migraines, right? Because they're all tied to that same endocannabinoid system deficiency.
Right, right. So you think about this, Mark. So you have the traditional system, that does the best they can with pharmaceuticals and medications. And then we just get a little bit further along, functional medicine, right? So functional medicine, what does functional medicine do? It serves to look for the root cause,
right,
and the contributing roles, including what nutritional deficiencies, neurotransmitter stimulation,
right,
poor cellular metabolism, like we said, and food sensitivities.
Yeah. And then, of course, medications like SSRIs, which, it's like the first line, they'll toss you on an SSRI for depression, and they can cause headaches, and patients can get a diagnosis of migraines after they begin treatment for conditions like depression.
Yep. Well, and here's the thing too, is all the pain medications that can be prescribed as well have effects, right? Opiate, Tylenol, codeine, aspirin, Motrin, and sleeping pills, right? All of those things, you think about polypharmacy, 5 or more, you take 5 or more pharmaceuticals, 50% chance that those drugs are interacting, 10 or more pharmaceuticals, 100% chance that those drugs are interacting with each other.
Absolutely.
And not the benefit of your body. I guarantee
they have to. They have to interact. You're putting them into the same system. Like there's only, there's only one enzyme group that's processing most of the drugs, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's going to interact. And Deanna actually shared that when they put her on pain meds when she was in the ICU, it caused her headaches, and she had to tell the docs, no more. I just can't do it. So yeah, these medications that are supposedly going to decrease your pain can actually have the opposite effect.
And here's a little reason why, too. I'm going to give another hug and a nug of information.
Love
and I'm
it.
not sure if a lot of people know this, but there are pharmaceuticals out there that cause a drug nutrient depletion.
Yeah.
Let that sink in, right? So that means that if you're taking that pharmaceutical, it can prevent your ability to process certain nutrients, and you can have that nutritional deficiency. And as we know, nutrients and nutrition is key when we're working with any type of symptoms that we're trying to manage or chronic illness.
Right.
So this is my favorite part: endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome, a term that was coined by Dr. Ethan Russo. And what he says is this may play a factor in migraines, irritable bowel, and fibromyalgia.
Right. So very much related.
Yeah. And so when people, I'm going to review quickly just the umbrella really quickly for the new people, and we'll talk about the endocannabinoid deficiency and how it relates to irritable bowel, migraine, fibromyalgia. So you have an endocannabinoid system. It's very abstract. People are like, what is it? I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm like, so just imagine we have all these diagrams, but I thought of an umbrella, and I thought that the umbrella would be a good depiction of our body. So if you think of all the spokes of the umbrella are our different organ systems, right? We have an immune system, central nervous system, cardiovascular, respiratory, reproductive, integumentary, muscular. You have all of these systems, genourinary. So these systems make up our umbrella, which is our body. Then the different fabric pieces, that attach to the spokes of the umbrella are those neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to the spokes of the umbrella for your body to do something or stop doing something. So the endocannabinoid system is at the tippy top of the umbrella, and it blankets over our entire body because we have cannabinoid receptors on all of the cell surfaces, on all of our 11 organ systems and immune system. And we have cannabinoid receptors at the neurotransmitter signaling junction sites, which is just very, very interesting. So we have an endocannabinoid system, not because of the plant. We have an endocannabinoid system because we make components in our body just like the plant.
Yes.
We don't make enough. What happens? We don't get rained on, right? Our internal endogenous cannabinoids and nonamine and 2-AG don't get released at appropriate times, the on-off switch. And our body's always trying to autocorrect and get better. So if we don't have the tools necessary to keep our umbrella going up and down nicely, we start to see systems being affected, symptoms starting to manifest, and systems starting to break down, leading to chronic illness or disease.
Boom.
It says right here, when the underlying endocannabinoid system tone is poor, the body is unable to achieve homeostasis or balance, right?
Right. You know what I find really fascinating, Sherry, is that we have research that has shown that in people with chronic migraines, they have lower levels of anandamide, which is our naturally occurring and produced endocannabinoid, right?
Okay.
And so there's lower levels of that in the cerebrospinal fluid. And that gives an objective view to the observational reports of their symptom reduction when using phytocannabinoids, right? Because if you're not making enough of your own, why wouldn't you want to utilize a natural occurring plant that provides them?
Exactly.
I don't know, Cher. Makes sense to me.
Totally makes sense to me. So you think about students, there's some clinical trials, we've covered migraines before in previous shows in detail, but, I'm just going to mention one of them. So there's clinical trials currently enrolling, studying CBD, THC, and the CBD THC ratio and placebo in controlled sessions using portable vaporizers, right? And so, UCSD, the University of San Diego, is an approved government partner researching many indications of cannabis therapeutics.
Thank God.
So the clinical trials are happening.
Yeah. Now if we can just get some more quality plant to study with, it's coming.
Yeah. So here's another good hug.
Yeah.
So people with migraines aren't waiting for definitive answers when it comes to research. So here's a good one. Out of 9,885 people surveyed in a headache tracking app, cannabis for their headaches, and 82% said that it helped. Inhaled THC reduced their pain by 50% in a 2019 Journal of Pain report. Another 2019 study in the Journal of Neurology found headache frequency was reduced by 55% in over half of the patients, with secondary gains, like we said, side effects of improved sleep, improved mood, and decreased anxiety.
I talk about this all the time. Why, if you are going to utilize cannabis for one particular thing, you have to understand that it's going to have a positive effect on about 4 or 5 other things that are going on inside of you that you may not even be aware of, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that is just one of the most amazing and fantastic things about phytocannabinoids.
Yeah. So you just got to think about this. So for example, if you had a vitamin D deficiency, what would you do? You would take vitamin D.
Of course you would. I do.
or you, right? So you think about if you have an endocannabinoid deficiency, it makes sense to incorporate phytocannabinoids, plant, as well as all of the other activities that support and nourish the endocannabinoid system.
Yes.
And so you think about this as another cool concept to think about. So taking CBD, right? We've talked about this before, can help our body keep our own anandamide molecules circulating in our system longer.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I know. I think the way that works, Sherry, is that it stops the enzyme that breaks down anandamide, right? It blocks that. FAH, F-A-A-H, fatty acid amines hydrolase, or some crazy thing. FAH, we call it FAH. Yeah. That's right, Alice. FAH.
FAH.
How's your FAH? Yeah.
How's your FAH doing? My FAH is good because
my FAH is fine.
My FAH is keeping my internal endogenous cannabinoids circulating in my system a little bit longer. So
so CBD hacks that a little bit, right? Which is great.
It is great. So the goal, right, is to reduce the frequency and severity of headaches to improve quality of life and functioning.
Right.
You can do that and safely with the plant, right? And a lot of patients need to, I call it trial and success experiment, what works for them. And to have it be predictable. So it's a lot of, like I said, trial and success, working with, different cannabinoids, but we've seen specific cannabinoids work really, really well. In my own personal experience, inhalation does grant the fastest relief of symptoms. And, and we'll talk about that in a second, but for maintenance, right, for preventative, people use a combination of, CBD, THC, tinctures, 1-to-1s, a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. Like I would say CBDA, THCA, I've seen work really, really well. And these are in tinctures, maintenance doses to keep the endocannabinoid system in balance. And we're going to talk about the acidic versions in one of our later shows this week, THCA and CBDA, because it's a really good topic and there's new information
sure is.
I want to share.
Yeah.
So, it's personal, right? Cannabinoid therapeutics is personal, but what Elizabeth writes in her article And I agree with her, is inhalation does grant the fastest relief. And what they've shown is that, inhaling THC, as we know, directly activates the CB1 receptors in our central nervous system.
Yeah.
And it reduces pain, and it helps to bring homeostasis back to that whole neurochemistry in our brain to keep things, like I said, keep things smooth and steady.
Smooth and steady. That umbrella's going up and down.
Nicely, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to someone about that yesterday. I talked about, the different routes of administration, right? The different ways that you can consume. And, I talked exactly about that smoking has a stigma. Vaporizing, vaping, smoking has a stigma associated with it. But it's a valid, very powerful route of administration. Like if you need immediate relief, there's no better way.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I did a funny little video on TikTok really quickly because I was doing a video on how to do a bong rip.
Yeah.
Seriously, because because of decreasing coughing, right? So you have the water filtration, you can put ice in it, it's cold. Yep. And so I was just doing a little video on it and I started to cough. I got really embarrassed and I started to cough. So I was like, so I basically said, you know what? I'm not going to hide this coughing because coughing can be really real. Yeah. And the main thing
it's one of the side effects of using that route of administration is that you have a cough. But guess what? It resolves when you stop.
Exactly.
Or you don't. It's not negative. Yeah.
So what I did was I just kind of put a little spin on it. Why could coughing possibly be good? Well, guess what? If you have phlegm in your throat, or
you're clearing.
It's going to clear it. It's an expectorant. Well, guess what?
That's exactly right.
When I expectorate, what happens? Yeah. I have more oxygen exchange going on in my lungs. Right? And more oxygen exchange in my lungs does what?
Right.
Boink.
Right.
Improves cognition and clarity.
That's exactly right. So if you're in a legal state, perhaps you want to do a bong rip when we get off of here, right? Just saying. Maybe you do. Increased lung capacity. Right.
Yeah. So water filtration, they
water
say
filtration.
Vaping flower in a vaporizer is definitely the best way. But I'm not going to lie, I'm lazy. I just grind it up. I put it in the little bong with some water and some ice, a couple of little inhales, and it just completely brings me into my body.
Yeah.
And the anxiety goes down and the nausea goes away. And if I have a migraine, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
So the part that's so cool, we look forward to the day when we know all of the mechanisms of action for these plant compounds. But in the meantime, what we've seen is many patients opt to use cannabis and they find it reduces their intake of other pharmaceuticals. And, a lot of these other pharmaceuticals can be very expensive. And a lot of the other pharmaceuticals can cause rebound headaches. So basically, for those that want a natural approach, there is a added benefit of being able to use cannabinoids, self-titrate dosing. And this also leads to patient empowerment over defeat. You know what I mean? Because these things, you can feel very, very defeated. And when you use plant phytocannabinoids and all of the other tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs to nourish the endocannabinoid system, you just become into a powerful space because there's nothing like having an illness that is out of control,
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's about quality of life, babe. Quality of life.
Of life.
Yeah.
So here we go. We want you guys to come into the community. And
join the community.
This whole topic today on migraines was a beautiful newsletter that was written by Elizabeth Mack at Holistic Caring Network, which the Green Nurses are now part of. And she's doing a webinar in September on migraines with slides, and it's free. So come into the community, join us.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. So we've been
gotta do it. Yeah. Join the community. Community is important. We're social beings, right? We're social animals. Come join us for a little bit of social interaction.
Social interaction, free community, free webinars, free patient.
And in the future, face-to-face meetings. We'll see you live somewhere. Yes. You got to be a part of this community. You have to. You just have to.
Exactly.
Just say yes.
Just say yes. So Nurse Mark, what do we have going on tonight?
Oh my gosh. Denise, where are you? Denise. Yes. Oh, hi.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, yeah. This is what we've got going on tonight.
Woo! Yeah. And Denise and I were doing a work jam yesterday. She came over in the afternoon. We were doing some work. And it was really fun, you know, planning. And we're going to talk about this tonight. Green Nurse retreats with energized living.
Yes.
Bring it all together. You get to experience everything.
Yeah. Everything. We don't want to give too much away because this is going to be huge tonight at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And so she's one of the green nurses on the platform. She is a veteran in the Air Force. And so she's got a really great story. And Nurse Mark hasn't interviewed her yet. So this will be really fun.
I know. Oh my gosh. This is our first date, Denise.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh.
Be gentle.
I will. I will. You know what?
Be gentle.
We're going to have so much fun tonight. We really are. We're going to get to know you in a way that probably nobody else has really gotten to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be scared. It's going to be lovely.
All good. Yeah.
So 8 o'clock tonight, folks.
8 o'clock tonight.
We'll see
yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Denise.
Bye.
See you tonight.
All right, Nurse Mark. I know I'm having an AFA day.
Holy good God. AFA day is already in play. Remember, it's my younger brother Mikey's birthday today. So happy birthday to Mikey.
Happy birthday, Mikey. We love you here in Green Nurse Land.
The man. Yeah. So Sherry, today, August 18th, 2021, you're not going to get another one of these. And you know each moment's precious. And you're there with Nurse Denise. It's just amazing. I think that you're going to have the best AFA day that you've ever had today. And everybody else too. You can have the best day ever. Today's it.
That's it. And here's the reason why.
Yeah.
Because we all need to remember what it's all about.
What is it all about, Sherry?
We do need to remember that it's about living our best lives and helping others do the same.
Oh,
thank you for joining us.
All right. Love you guys. See you all tonight at 8 p.m. Come on. And tomorrow. Bye.